Hi everyone! Before you watch the video, I wanted to explain what a kazoo is. If you already know what a kazoo is, you can go ahead and skip this part of the video and go straight to the instructions. However, if you don't know what a kazoo is, you're about to learn. So this instrument right here is a kazoo. And basically what it is it's a small tube-shaped instrument, usually made of plastic or metal, with a little vibrating piece of paper on the top. And what you do is you hum into it to create a sound, like this. And what makes the kazoo so cool is that unlike like a trumpet or a flute, those sorts of instruments you blow air through. You don't actually make any noise with your mouth. You just blow air and that vibrates through the instrument and creates a sound. But with a kazoo, you actually have to hum and create music with your mouth, and then the kazoo takes that music and changes the tone of it. So humming just naturally, that sounds like humming, but when you hum it into a kazoo, it just sounds way more fun. So the next part of this video will teach you how to take materials that you have around your house and use those materials to make your very own kazoo.
Hi, my name is Nadia and I'm a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Lowell. I'm also a music student at UMass Lowell. And this video today is going to be a how-to video of me teaching you how to make a kazoo with things that you might have around your house. So to get started, what you're going to need is you're going to need a cardboard tube of some sort, ideally a toilet paper tube, although if you have a paper towel tube or a wrapping paper tube, since it's the season of the holidays, that's completely fine too. Although if you have a tube that's bigger than a toilet paper tube, you're going to want to either be very careful or ask someone to help you cut it down to a smaller size. So that's somewhat about this size. So you're going to need a cardboard tube. You're going to need either parchment paper or wax paper. I'm using parchment paper today because that's the only paper I have in my house. And you're going to need some scissors. You're going to need tape. And you're going to need something to write with. So to get started, what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper towel tube, or your whatever tube you have. You're going to take your tube and you're going to take your something to write with, and you're going to make an X in the middle of your tube. So right in the middle. So I'm going to take my marker. You can take your pen or pencil or whatever you have and make an X right in the middle, right there. So once you have your X drawn, then you are going to take your scissors and you're going to use the scissors to poke a hole in your tube right where the X is. So when you're doing this, you're going to either take your scissors and be very careful to keep all of your fingers out of the way and carefully poke your scissors through the tube, or if you're not comfortable doing that, you're going to ask somebody to help you poke a hole in the tube. So either you can do it yourself or you can have someone help you, whatever is the safest. I don't want you guys hurting yourselves in any way, okay? So be very safe with your scissors. Ask for help if you need to. Asking for help is always okay. And I'm just going to poke my hole in my toilet paper tube, and I'm being very careful to keep all of my hands out of, all of my fingers out of the way of my X. And so I'm just going to, you can't see this, but I'm resting it on my table. And I'm taking my scissors and I'm just going to, actually here, I wonder if I can show you guys. I'm going to take this and I'm going to poke my scissors right through. All right. And I twisted them a little bit just to make the hole a little bit bigger. But there you go. Now you have a toilet paper tube with a hole in it. And so once you have your hole cut, either if you did it yourself or you had somebody else do it for you, that's okay. So you have your tube with the hole, And what you're going to do is once you have a hole poked in your tube, you're going to make that hole a little bit bigger. Because the hole that we have right now isn't big enough for the kazoo to vibrate. We need it to be bigger. We don't want it to be too big though. So when you're making your hole for your kazoo bigger, you want it to be about the size of a nickel or a quarter. So if you know what those coins look like, about a hole about that size. So let's cut a hole in our paper towel tube. And you're going to end up with something that looks like this. So this hole is kind of on the small side. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, that's cool, but you don't want to make it too much bigger than this. So once you have your hole, then you're going to take your parchment paper and you're going to cut out a little square of parchment paper. It doesn't have to be too much, you just need a little tiny bit, like that much. And you're going to take your paper, you're going to take your tube, and you're going to put the paper inside of your cardboard tube. So it looks something like that. But you can't play your kazoo and hold the paper in. So you're going to take your tape and you're going to tape your paper into your tube. So your paper goes on the inside of your tube and you're going to tape it to the inside part of your cardboard tube. So let's get some tape. This is my favorite duct tape to use. I just think it's cool looking. I think it's fish scales or mermaid scales or something like that. And I like to start, when I'm taping, I like to start with either end of the tube that's open. So I'm gonna go in this end and tape here. And then I'm gonna turn it around. And I'm gonna do the other end and tape it right there, just like that. And so now I have two sides taped, but you want all four sides taped. You want to make sure that your parchment paper or wax paper is really secure on the inside of your tube. And also when you're taping, you want to make sure that this area right here, the area where the paper shows through the hole, you want to make sure that you're not putting any tape over the paper in that area. You want to make sure that nothing goes on this area because this is the part of the kazoo that makes the noise. So you don't want to mess with this area right here. So anyway, I'm going to tape the other two sides of my kazoo. And there. So now you have your body of your kazoo. And once you get this far, you can decorate it. You don't have to. Personally, I like decorating things. So I made another kazoo ahead of time, and this is what mine looked like. So I basically just took some duct tape and put it around the outside of my kazoo. And as you can see, I didn't put any tape around the hole with the paper because that's the vibrating part. You don't want to put any decorations over that part. And so I drew some stars and I drew a sun right here. But this is what my finished kazoo looks like. And so I have my hole at the top and my paper's all taped on the inside. And so to play your kazoo, what you're going to do is you're going to take either open end, doesn't matter which end, and you're going to put it over your mouth, just like that. All right? And so once you put it over your mouth, you're going to want to take the other end and you're going to want to pinch it. Not closed. You don't want to pinch it all the way closed, but you want to pinch it just enough so a little bit of air is getting through, but not a lot, just a little bit. So you're going to pinch it closed about that much. And to make the noise, you're going to want to make a noise with your mouth like this. Whoa! So like you're saying, whoa. But longer. So, whoa! Into your kazoo. But you want to make sure that your mouth is touching this part, and you want to make sure that you're pinching this end, and then you're just gonna make noise. Whoa! Whoa! And you can experiment with how high or low you make your voice, or how much you pinch here to change what kind of sound you get out of your kazoo. So you can go like this, whoa! Or you can go like this, whoa! And it just depends on what sounds sound good to you. And yeah, congratulations, you've made it. That is how you make a kazoo with things you have lying around your house. Happy kazooing. I hope you all have a nice rest of your school year, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Bye.
Hello, my name is Sarah, and I'm a volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Lowell. I'm also a music student at UMass Lowell, and today I will be teaching you how to make your very own percussion instrument. This instrument will look like this. It's a drum, a shaker, and a guiro. A guiro is a Latin American percussion instrument that has ridges on the side. It's played with a stick and produces sound when the stick moves over the ridges like this. To make this, the first thing you're going to need is a can. Make sure it's empty and the label is off of it. Then you're going to need some beads, some duct tape, a ruler, and scissors. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your beads into your can. Once the beads are in your can, you're going to start making the top for the drum. So you're going to take your duct tape, you're going to unroll a piece, and you're going to cut it with your scissors, like this. When you cut it, it should look like this. It should be about 4 or 5 inches long. You can use the ruler to measure that, or you can just estimate it. The smaller piece should be about 3 or 3.5 inches long. So next, you're going to put the smaller piece over the bigger piece so that there's sticky left on the side, like that. So there's sticky on this side, and there's some on this side. This is so you can stick it to the top of your can. The reason why you have to put another piece on the other side is so that the beads inside the can don't stick to it. So you're going to take your can, and you're going to put it over one side to cover it up. You want to make it as tight as possible, and you want to fold down the sides so it sticks. It should look like this when you're done. Now you're going to repeat that process to make another one to cover the other open side, like the other side of the top that's open. You're going to take your 2 pieces of duct tape, going to put them on top of each other so they're sticky left on both sides, and you're going to tightly put it on top of the can. Now it looks like this. You want to tape down some of these sides. In order to do that, we're going to take some more duct tape, and we're going to cut it. And you're going to want to make small strips you can put around the edge. You can either use the scissors, or if you're holding the duct tape up and down, you should be able to tear it like this, and it should come off in strips. You're going to use these strips to tape down all of these edges, like that, to tighten it. Make sure you have enough to go around the whole can. Once you've gone around the whole can, there's a seam where the two pieces of duct tape came together, so you're going to want to tape it with a few more strips on the top. So you're going to put it over the seam like that. Now you have your finished instrument. It's a drum, a shaker, and a guiro. Have fun making your own percussion instrument.